I love a rainy day. I really do. And today I am lucky enough to have my whole house to myself, which is a bonus. So in this video, we are going to go through everything I've ever knit and every place I've ever traveled. Welcome to Traveled and Unraveled. I'm Shannon and I want to inspire you to travel and create. So we're getting some thunderstorms today, and I have the pleasure of having my whole house to myself for the entire day. This might not be a big deal to some of you, but me and my husband both work for ourselves from home. My kids were homeschooled, even though they are, adults now, and one of them has moved out. The other one is still around, but it is rare that I get time alone in my house. And I love my family, but it's just nice. I can watch whatever I want on TV. I can, not have to cook for anybody or clean up after anybody. It's great. It's great. I really treasure these days. So I went out, I did a few errands. I stopped at a little roadside ice cream food place near me, and I got a hot dog, okay? This is a hot dog covered with grilled onions and chopped up tater tots, okay? Grilled onions and chopped up tater tots on top of a hot dog. Outstanding, okay? Outstanding. So I ate that for lunch, and then I thought, okay, I'm here alone. I'm gonna record a video. So I don't really have any updates for my knitting. I haven't traveled anywhere new. So I thought, how about we go through everything I've ever knit and every place I've ever traveled. Okay, let's start with the knitting. I've been knitting for 5 years. This was the first project, my first finished object, this scarf. You can see that it was very loose at the top, and then I progressively got tighter as I went. It's fine. I don't ever wear it not because I don't like it, but because I don't really wear a scarf like this. I don't like anything really heavy hanging down around my neck. I like more of a cowl situation. So that's really the only reason I don't wear it. But, pretty much a success. Now, I'm not going to be going through any of the yarn that I used. I don't remember. That's just going to make this way too long. If anyone really wants to know, just leave me a comment and I'll find out what yarn I used and I'll tell you. Okay, this shawl was my second finished object. All right, I think this was made with one of those Karen cakes. Like when I started knitting, I just bought my yarn at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I do like more indie dyed and higher quality yarns these days for my garments. But I almost quit this. I was trying to do this shawl as a new knitter with all these fuzzies, right? That was a challenge. And I remember going to the girl that taught me to knit. Her name's Miranda. And I was like, you have to show, am I doing this right? What's happening? And I'm like, I don't know. I think I need to just pick a different yarn. But I'm kind of one of those people that I really do, I'm kind of a perfectionist. So I really do put my head into it and just keep going. And it came out really nice. Once I kind of got the hang of it, it came out really nice. I really do. I like this. I like that one. That was my second. This is where things get a little muddy. I'm not really sure. I think this might have been the third thing I did. This was a pattern called a dragon shawl. I think that other one was called a lettuce wrap. I'm going to try to remember the pattern names, but this one was called a dragon something, and I love this. I love the shape of it. It looks really pretty when it's draped around. Really like this one. No idea what the yarn was. That was I think my third object. Then pretty quickly, I decided I wanted to tackle a garment. So I did this next. I've worn this in another video. This is called the Desert Bloom top. We'll see if, but it has a peplum at the bottom and an I-cord crossover edge. This was a Barocco sesame yarn. Jade, I believe, was the colorway. Really like that. I still wear it, but it's it's big on me. It's pretty big. And it's getting kind of stretched out. And I have said, I do want to knit this pattern again with a different yarn. I like this. I love that pattern. Love that pattern. Gosh, what did I do next? I am really not sure. Might have been this one. This is Stephen West's butterfly shawl. I don't know what this yarn was. I know I bought it in Lancaster when I was visiting my friend there. But I love this. Absolutely love it. I wear it fairly often. I love the colors. Love this. And then, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to get all worked up about whether these are in order or not perfectly, but, you know, approximately. Then I did this thing. All right, this is a mess. This was a Rwana shawl or something. Let me see if I can just kind of, so you put it around you and then there's this, where is that thing? This, okay? You can see this strap here. So you like pull it through or something like that. I don't even know. I don't know. But I made this and I brought it to Ireland with me. And it's, I don't know, it's probably the wrong yarn for this pattern. I didn't know as much back then, but it's very, I don't know, it's too drapey. It's too drapey. It's like stretchy and loose, and I don't ever wear that, although my daughter wore it once. So, hey, as long as someone's getting some use out of it. I believe the next thing was this cocoon cardigan, which I absolutely love. Okay, hold on, let me see. This is hard to show these things. I could put it on, I guess. So it's got like these, you know, very kind of bat wing armholes. I'll show you the back. Hopefully this is showing up on the video, but I really like this. I like it a lot. It's very cozy. The only thing is I knit it a little bit too small, and I would like it to wrap around me more. It just, you can see that kind of just comes right to here. So I wish that it was a little bit bigger, but I do wear it. I don't think this pattern, this designer or pattern is available anymore, but it was called the Cocoon Cardigan. Next, I knit this poncho. Now, I had asked a friend of mine, okay? My friend Denise, her daughter Miranda is the one who taught me to knit. And Denise had a shawl in this pattern. Someone told me that this was an Andrea Mowry pattern, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Denise had a shawl in this. So I said to her daughter Miranda, can you alter the shawl pattern so I can make it into a poncho? So she did. And she wrote up the whole pattern for me, and then I made it. I'm not going to put it all on now, but it's really pretty. I love it. I wore it in Ireland. Really like it. You know, it kind of just like goes off the shoulder and hangs. So that's my poncho. Then I made this. I believe this pattern is called the Cable Bias shawl. This was my yarn from Ireland. I bought this yarn in Derry, and I made like 3 or 4 projects and ripped them out before I came because I only had one skein and I wanted like the perfect souvenir type of thing. So yes, this is very pretty. Love it. Slightly itchy, you know, but I love the color. Did I hold that up good enough? You could see the cable and the tweedy bits of color. Very pretty. Love that one. Let's see what was next. I did do another like t-shirt top in between there, but I ended up hating it. The yarn was not good, and I either frogged it or no, I think I just gave it away. So I don't know, we won't talk about that. I think maybe next I made this. I think this is another Stephen West, like little scarf. One of his like mini ones. I got like there was like a pattern book with like 4 of them in there. Very pretty. I love the yarn, and I got this yarn from a subscription box that I don't remember the name of, and then I held it with a mohair. Really, really love the color combination there. It's soft and cozy. That's another little scarf that I have. Let's see, what was next? I believe, oh, wait, forgot about this one, my Ooey Gooey. This is Andrea Mowry, her Rhinebeck sweater from 2025, the 2025 Andrea Mowry Rhinebeck sweater. I love my colors. It's a little too short, a little bit too short. I did not, I got a little aggressive with the casting off, but I love the colors and I do wear this. Then I think was this one. This was called the Barnstable, this pattern. And I did this with a spin cycle. God, I should know this because this is the custom color for the yarn shop that I work for. I want to say it's Lucky You. I think it's called Lucky You. And this is a Queen City, the gray is a Queen City Surrey alpaca? Maybe? Oh, Chantilly. I think it's Chantilly. Anyway, this is also, I love mosaic. Like, I can't wait to do more mosaic. I absolutely loved knitting this. It was so much fun. I love wearing it. Very happy with that one. Then we get to my Christmas sweater, which I'm so proud of this sweater. So proud of this sweater. Okay, we got all the little lights and then the Christmas trees at the bottom. I absolutely love this sweater. It's cozy and soft. This cost me a fortune because this was, I think, Moondrake Surrey alpaca held double, because held single it was like see-through. Yeah, this one cost me a lot of money, but I love it. Love it, love it. Gosh, this is like, I gotta be careful. These get really like some serious lines in them when you store them. I don't have a steamer. I should get a steamer. All right, my next knit, I believe, yes, my next knit was this one. This is the Isblom by, oh my God. I did this pretty recently too, and I don't remember. Can't remember. Tully Knitworks? Tully Knitworks? That might be it. I knit this in Smashing Sport yarn from Do You Knit. I love, this was a little bit out of my comfort zone too. Like, I don't normally wear really bright pinks and colors like that, but I love the way this came out. I think it is so pretty. So pretty. Then I think my next finished knit was, we're coming right up to recent times here, folks. My next finished knit was this tee. This was by Tori Yu, the Brooklyn tee? I think it was Brooklyn Raglan Light, something like that. I think that was the name of it. But I love this too. Came out great. This was probably the best fitting object I ever knit. Like, it fits me perfectly. And the yarn is great. This was 29 Bridges, something linen. My next finished object was the Frost Lines cardigan by Andrea Mowry. I also really love this. I can't wait till it gets cold again so I can wrap myself up in it. I especially love my buttons. I got these on Etsy. I'll link them down below, but I absolutely love these. Love that one too. And then I did a little Sophie scarf. Pretty basic. Can't remember the yarn, but it was a cashmere wool held with a mohair, something like that. I don't know. And then my most recent was my Magnolia tee that you guys have probably seen already, which I also love. This yarn is pretty stretchy too. Like, I'm concerned. I've blocked it twice. I even threw it in the dryer, even though it's a, is it a cotton linen? Anyway, it's not wool, and it's not really gonna shrink much. Am I wrong about that? I better check. I don't know. Anyway, whatever this yarn is, it's Queen City Coleman DK, but whatever it's made out of, it's not going to shrink much. So the dryer really didn't help a lot. And I'm concerned because of the sparkles. I don't want them to like melt in the dryer, but I did block it like twice, and I laid it out in the sun even. Like, it's stretching. It's stretching as I wear it, and I love it so much. I may knit another one of these too, maybe in a smaller size. Yeah, I mean, what do we do? What do we do about that? When we make our knits and they fit great and you love them, but then you wear them a few times and you have body heat and they just stretch. What do we do about that? I don't know. So that is everything I knit in the past 5 years. Not everything, actually. I have knit some gifts for people. Most recently, I knit a baby sweater. I knit some cowls for like 3 or 4 people. Oh, wait. Yeah, I did Andrea Mowry's day and night cowl. That was one of my favorites. I don't know where that is. I think that's like in with my winter hats and things like that. So I can't show you that right now. It's away somewhere. But that was one of my favorite patterns to knit. I knit that as a gift for like 1, 2, 3, like 5 times I knit that pattern. I love that pattern. So I made that for a gift. I made another scarf as a gift. I made a hat for a gift. I made a shawl. So I did a good number of gifts for people. I did 2 shirts for my daughter, these kind of like big drop stitch, like look like they're ripped up kind of things that, you know, the younger girls will wear. I also knit a tank top kind of thing for her, which didn't go very well. Like, it fit, but then it kept, you know, riding up. I don't know. I don't know how people do like the short tanks when you, oh, that was a big clap of thunder. Anyway, that's pretty much everything. So let's pause, and then we will go on to the travel portion of the video. Okay, we're gonna bring up my trusty spreadsheet here. Let's see. Hopefully it won't take me too long to find it. Okay, so now Obviously, this isn't going to be every place I've ever traveled in my entire life. We didn't travel a lot when I was a kid. We went to Florida a few times. My grandmother moved down there when I was in high school, so we did go to Disney once. We went to New York City. We went to Toronto. Um, yeah, I'm not remembering like a lot. We didn't take a lot of big vacations. So, oh, I went to California with my dad on a business trip. I think the Toronto one might have been a business trip too. He was in sales, so he traveled a lot. But my mom was not really big on travel. So as I got older, obviously, I love to travel. I started a travel blog, and that afforded me the opportunity to go a lot of places. Also, because my husband and I worked for ourselves and my kids were homeschooled, we did a bunch of like extended trips, and we got, through travel blogging, we got some perks. We got a few things hosted here and there. So it was great. It was a really, it was a good life. Like, not that I'm on my deathbed, but, it's different now. All right. It used to be if you had a travel blog and you had, the Google Analytics to show that you had a good amount of traffic, that you could work with tourism departments and stuff. And now it's more really about the influencer type, I don't know. I think COVID killed a lot of travel blogs, and it definitely set me back a bit. Like, I just kind of lost my love for it. And, I still will do it. I still want to do it. But I think this format is going to be more what I'm doing going forward in the future, because I want to share my experiences and document things. And I really think that like someday, maybe when my kids get a lot older or my grandkids will want to see this, and just like, I like to tell stories, and although I'm not really good at telling stories verbally, I think creating this YouTube channel, that was one of my goals, is to get better at storytelling in a verbal sense. Writing, I do okay. But I've always loved to write. Like, I took creative writing classes in high school. I minored in creative writing in college, and I had the travel blog all those years. So it's just something that I really enjoy doing. I like to share stories. And I think that in the digital age, I sound like an old person here, but, actually, it's not now. It's been like this for a very long time. But I'm kind of just getting on the bandwagon, I guess. I think that I just want to share video. Oh my God. I don't know what I'm saying. Oh, see, this is what I mean. Verbally, not so good. Visually, I kept wanting to say videoly. No, I want to share visually, okay? Share my stories visually. All right, so I'm going to go through. I don't know if this is going to be that interesting to anyone at all, but I just kind of came up with this idea, like everything I knit, everywhere I've traveled. Anyway, if you have any specific questions about any of these places, some of them I went to a long time ago, so I may not be able to tell you much, but leave me a comment, ask me questions. I love talking about travel. I love talking about my experiences. I love helping people plan. I love to plan. I love all of it. So, all right, let's go through this. So this goes back to May, my little spreadsheet here. I put this together. My kids had once asked me, like, can you list everywhere we've ever gone? And I was like, sure. So this is pretty much since my kids were born. My husband and I, we traveled to London. We skied a lot. We went, a bunch of places, and we did a lot of like camping and hiking. But this is really since my kids were born, basically. So we have been to Mystic, Connecticut. We've been to Disney many times, so I will kind of roll through. We stayed at Fort Wilderness and Disney. I did not love that. I didn't love that place. It was fine, though. It was on the less expensive side. We went to Saratoga Springs, New York, where I grew up in that area, so I've been there several times. Saratoga's great. It's a great town. We went on a cruise to Jamaica, Haiti, and Cozumel. That was my whole entire family, like my brother-in-law, my in-laws, all the cousins. That was a fun trip. That was really fun. We went to Salem, Massachusetts. That's another place I would really like to get back to. My daughter's into like really witchy things. I actually want to go to that. There's like a witchy fiber festival there in April, but it usually coincides with the New Jersey Wool Walk, and I never want to miss, that, and I need to work usually. Anyway, Salem, Massachusetts. Copper Mountain to ski. That's in Colorado. That was a trip we took with 3 other families that all homeschooled. Like, that was great. We had this like luxury house, slopeside. It was insane. That was a big splurge. Really great trip though. Copper Mountain's great. Then we took an Amtrak train. Yeah, this one has some like negative memories attached to it because we took an Amtrak train from, I believe, Trenton to Chicago to visit our friends Robin and Matt. And what year was that? 2011. We had some kind of crazy storm here. Like, I want to say it was like Hurricane Lee or something like that. But we got back to our basement like completely flooded, which really sucked. That was not good. Oh no, I know. Okay, it was even worse than that. Here's the story. That was Hurricane Irene, right? I'm going to like write it on the screen if I'm wrong, but I think Hurricane Irene was the one that was really bad that came up through New Jersey. We lost power for like maybe 8 or 9 days. And the day our power came back was like 2 or 3 days before we were supposed to go on this train trip. Now, this is crazy. So our spout over our sink, okay, where your water comes out, we had pushed it out of the way. Like it was, it's not 2, it's just 1. We pushed it back like against the wall almost because we were using jugs of water to clean and cook and all that stuff. So we had been out of the house, and also we had these round twisting words, right? The faucets, okay? So at some point, when the power was out and we didn't have any water, because we have a well, and once the water tank is done, there's no more water. So at some point, I must have twisted that faucet to the on position, and then I pushed the faucet back against the wall. And while we were out, we had gone to the gym to like take showers and stuff with the kids. The power comes back on and the water starts coming out all over the countertop, filling up our drawers, soaking down into the floor, into the basement. So first we came home to that, all right? And that wasn't like horrific. I mean, yeah, we had to like empty everything out and dry it all up, and the basement wasn't too bad, So then we go on this train trip. We go to Chicago. We visit our friends. We're there for, I don't know, maybe like 5 or 6 days. And we come home and there had been another storm and our basement was flooded from that storm. That was like just, oh my God, what a shit show that was for many weeks. Yeah, that was not good. Okay. We went to Disney and Universal again. We went to Cape May, New Jersey, which is a really great place to visit. Charlottesville, Virginia. Lexington, Massachusetts. Disney again. Breckenridge, Colorado, to ski. Lancaster. Oh, that's when we did like Amish country. We did the Thomas train, and we went to Bird in Hand, and we did some of the, like the Strasburg Railroad and that kind of stuff. My son was really into trains, so that was fun. We went to Cape Cod. That was also a really cool trip. We did a cool like Jeep tour on the dunes. It was fun. We went to the Baltimore Aquarium, Corning Museum of Glass, which is in New York, upstate New York. Corning is excellent. Very nice town. I've been to a lot of smaller towns, that's the kind of place I like to visit. I like to go see what's in a small town and hike and, learn about their history and stuff like that. That's kind of my jam. Colonial Williamsburg we visited. We did Disney Universal again. Then we took a trip across the country. We drove across the country and we spent 2 months in Lake Tahoe. My husband and I went to Lake Tahoe on our honeymoon. We loved it there. It was our, I think, 20th anniversary. Yeah, our 20th anniversary. So we wanted to go out there again. And we said, hey, we can work anywhere. We're just going to go out there. And we stayed for 2 months. On the way out, we went to Amarillo, Texas. We did Cadillac Ranch. We spray painted the cars. We went to Big Texan Steakhouse where they have this kind of like a contest. If you can eat all of this gigantic steak and potato and sides, if you can eat it all in an hour, I don't know, you get it for free, I guess, or your picture on the wall or something. I don't know. We didn't try that. We just ate there and watched. It was fun. Whew. Too much talking. Okay. Starting to lose my voice a little bit. Let's get through this. Let's see. Then we went to Taos, New Mexico. We had some relatives there. Visited them for a couple days. We went to the Grand Canyon, Meteor Crater, Petrified Forest, Flagstaff, all in Arizona. We went on to the Hoover Dam and Las Vegas for a couple days. Then we got to Lake Tahoe. We skied all around, probably, we skied at Squaw Valley and Alpine Meadows, which is now called Palisades. We skied at Heavenly. We skied at Homewood. And I think we skied at Kirkwood. I think those are all the places. Maybe Sierra, too. We skied all around. We were there for 2 months. It was great. While we were out there, we took a couple days and went out to Napa. We went to some big castle winery there, which was amazing. Can't remember the name of it, but it was great. After that trip, we came back across the country. We went to Twin Falls, Idaho. We went to Yellowstone National Park. We went to Devil's Tower. We did a quick drive through the Badlands National Park. We went to Mount Rushmore, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Quad Cities, Iowa, and then back to New Jersey, I guess. That was all that's on my list here. So that was just a phenomenal experience for my kids and for all of us, really. It was great. My daughter and I and one of her friends went to Wildwood, New Jersey. We went to Morey's Piers. We went to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, Lake Placid and Niagara Falls, Atlantic City. We took another extended ski trip and we did Keystone, Copper, and Breckenridge. We skied at Smuggler's Notch, Universal Studios again. Then me and the kids, my husband didn't go on this trip. Me and the kids went to New Orleans for a few days and then to Gulf Shores, Alabama. Gulf Shores is one of my favorite places. I haven't been back there in years, but I have gone. You'll hear that come up again. People always talk about Florida and the beaches, and the Gulf Coast of Alabama is just the most gorgeous beaches. It is such a fun area. There's so many cool restaurants and cool fun things to do, fun family stuff, lots of outdoorsy stuff. I love it there. What's next? Oh my, so many. I feel like this is so boring to you guys. Wow. We went up to the Finger Lakes, New York. Keuka Lake, I think, is where we stayed. We did some like wineries and stuff up there and did some kayaking on the lakes and I don't know, other stuff. We went to Arches National Park. We went to Powder Mountain, Utah. That was one of my favorite places to ski ever. Unfortunately, they have this like weird, I don't know, they started doing this weird membership thing. Like they have a whole section of the mountain, I think that's only, I may not be completely right about this, but they sold a section of the mountain to these like multi-million-dollar homes, and they like cap the number of seasons passes and lift tickets that you can buy, and it's one of my favorite places to ski, but they make it kind of difficult, honestly, I feel. We skied in Steamboat Springs. We went to Disney again. I ran half marathon in Disney, the Wine and Dine half marathon. We went to Ace Adventure Park in West Virginia. That was a fun place. If you like, you know, like we did zip lining and they have a whole lake there, and that's it's like camp for adults or families. It's really fun. We went to Austin and Dallas in Texas. We went to Atlanta. I've been to Atlanta many times because my blog is called The TV Traveler, and there's a lot of filming locations in Atlanta. So I've been down there several times to do like Stranger Things filming locations, Ozark filming locations, Cobra Kai filming locations. So Atlanta, yes. Then I went to Disneyland. We went to VidCon one year. My daughter was really, my daughter wanted to go to VidCon, and I can't even figure out why. Like, I don't remember. But we did VidCon, and then we went to Disneyland, and then we drove up and went to Sequoia National Park, and then we went to Lake Tahoe again, because that year it was the 4th of July, and we were able to ski still. People were skiing in bathing suits. Like, it was cool. It was cool. We did a trip to Pittsburgh. We did a big trip to Greece with 2 other families that are friends of ours. Universal again for Halloween Horror Nights, Atlanta again, Niagara Falls again, Gulf Shores again, Atlanta again, Disney and Universal again. Let's see, Milwaukee. I really liked Milwaukee. We went there and my husband participated in this thing called TabCon, which is like it's a whole weekend of these guys that get together, guys and girls, that get together and play Rush music, the band Rush, exclusively, right? They all have their songs assigned in advance and they practice, and then they get together for this weekend and they play. So I think it was just my daughter and I. My son might have been at camp or something then, but my daughter and I, we went, and Milwaukee's really nice too. Great town. I would go back there. I would definitely go back there. Then we went to Lake Tahoe skiing again. We just went to Heavenly that time. Atlanta again. Gulf Shores again. Sunset Beach, North Carolina. Friends of ours were visiting there. So we went down to see them, or, you know, kind of like piggyback on their vacation. And then we went to Harper's Ferry. Been to Harper's Ferry twice. Really like that town, and the hiking there is outstanding. Copper Mountain again, Atlanta again, Jay Peak in Vermont for skiing. Cleveland, we took a trip there to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. My daughter performed there with her School of Rock band. Disney and Universal again. Winter Park, Colorado. That might have been our first, 2023, might have been our first Winter Park visit. No, my husband and I went to Winter Park many years ago before we had kids, but this might have been our first family visit. Winter Park, Colorado. And we go back there every year now. Stay in the same condo. We like it there. What else? Pittsburgh again. Universal again. Oh, then we went out to Zion National Park and Lake Powell. My son and I did a half marathon there. Lake Powell half marathon. And that is where I hiked the Narrows, where you're hiking through the water. And I fell. I slipped and fell. and landed on a rock, right at the base of my back, right at my lower back. And I did not know if I was going to be able to make it out. I did, obviously. That's like a core memory right there. Winter Park again. Then our big trip to Ireland. I have a whole video where I just yap for an hour about my Ireland trip. We went to Shenandoah National Park. Actually, we didn't even actually go to the park. We went down to run a half marathon, and then we were hurting too much to hike at the park. So we just drove through and came home. We did a trip, my husband and I did a trip to Syracuse and Scranton, Syracuse, New York, Scranton, New Jersey. No, I'm sorry, Scranton, Pennsylvania. Yeah, we went to the Lackawanna coal mine, which was so cool. Harper's Ferry again, more hiking, back to Winter Park, Great Smoky Mountain National Park. Did some hiking there. My son did that half marathon. I did not. I might be done with half marathons. Might just be, I don't know. We'll see. Epic Universe, so Universal and Disney. Oh, that was the first time we've been to the new Epic Universe. That was just last year. Back to Winter Park, then Montreal, which I also have a video about. We just went to Montreal. And that's it. I'm trying to think. This is my family vacations. I just went to Doylestown with my friends, Lindsay and Phaedra, and I'm trying to think where else I went. Oh, Ohio Pile, Pennsylvania. I visited. We did a trip, the three of us, and that was really cool. And we've gone to a bunch of small towns. Phaedra lives in Maryland, Lindsay lives in Lancaster, and I live in New Jersey, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. So we kind of try to find somewhere in that vicinity where we can all meet up. So we've done, a bunch of small towns like Hershey and Westchester and different little towns that all are kind of cool in their own right. You can usually you can find something cool to do in small towns. All right. I don't know, you guys. I don't know why I ran through all that. You probably do not care. But anyway, if any of those places are of any interest and you want more details, I've been thinking about going back and kind of covering in a video, even though I don't have video footage, kind of just covering what there is to do in certain places and what I liked about the places and things like that. So doing travel vlogs for places I've been in the past. But, I kind of am struggling with that idea because, like I said, I don't have a lot of footage, and just putting pictures in and doing a slideshow type of thing doesn't seem all that interesting. But if there is any place I have mentioned that you are super interested in knowing more about, or you are planning to visit and you want any information, please leave me a comment. I would love to talk about it. Oh, sorry about that. I am losing my voice. I think we are done for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I will see you next week.